Now, Sprint brings you an inside look at today's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race on the Now Network. Our current top three in points, you see Tony Stewart. He's our points leader, actually running second in the race, and Jimmie Johnson is second in the points, and then Jeff Gordon coming in now 260 behind officially. And the top speed now, fastest speed, 176 miles an hour. That was the Kyle Busch, clocking right at the end of the backstretch prior to going into the bus stop.
That's hauling heat.
For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. Let's listen into the radio of our current points leader, Tony Stewart.
I think this is going to buy us enough caution laps here that we can make it to what we need to do for a window to the end. Kind of comical, all riding around there silent. We're all trying to do what we can for the environment.
Able to have some fun there. A double file restart. Tony Stewart on the outside. Kyle Busch, the leader, former teammates. And Jimmie Johnson third, Biffle fourth, Boris Said fifth. And by the way, Carl Edwards has started 33rd all the way up in 12th position. So cousin Carl is coming. So is Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yeah, he's in there, but I look at Boris Said, Max Pappas both up in the top 10.
And they are nose to tail there coming out of turn one, talking about the 08 and 13 cars.
How about Stewart still on the outside of Kyle Busch? Takes the lead, takes it. That's a power move right there.
Yes, sir.
We've always said that's where Tony Stewart's the best, up through the S's.
Kyle Busch is the one that showed everybody that move on Saturday.
He's fighting back. He's going to try to make a move here. Tony's protecting the inside. Not going to be much room for Kyle right there this time, Bob.
Tony has not led a lap today. He'll have to get back to the start-finish line for it to be official. Now double foul in the bus stop. There comes Marcus Ambrose back in the pack trying to make a move.
Jeff Gordon has moved back into the top 20 after that hard lick he took up there in the bus stop on that one caution with David Stremme.
Yeah, Marcus Ambrose has those 4 tires back there. He's going to try to make as many spots as he can while he has that fresh rubber.
These double foul restarts really working to the advantage of some of the cars that get caught in the back, and our faster cars can try to make a move. Marcus Ambrose car right up under the back of Scott Speed in traffic. Side by side, Martin Truex and Clint Bowyer in turn one.
Yeah, that's close racing. Right behind them also, Montoya.
Montoya trying to make the move on the outside on Casey Mears in turn 2, and he does it. Low contact.
And Casey trying to hold off now Carl Edwards. As you look back at Carl, he will fall in line behind Mears.
See right behind here, Boris Said he's trying to block Max Pappas, who's having a great run.
Yeah, every time we see Max Pappas in this 13, he's up behind somebody holding him up. So he's got a fast car today. Vince?
That Boris Said car has been fast off the truck this weekend, guys. They've not made many changes at all. Same cars they had at Sonoma, and it was good there, but they bounced off a few things, so they didn't have a good result. They've been really good today. The one thing Boris has said hasn't really been about the car. He just says, it's hot in here. I'm really thirsty. When we pit, can I have 2 bottles of ice cold water?
Just simple request. What great racing here. We told you that there were 7 so-called road course ringers in the field today, and a lot of discussion in the garage area that maybe someone could pull off the huge upset. Well, the previous caution flag came out because of a hard impact between the 43 and 88, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. head on into the wall. Let's visit with him. Shannon.
Well, it's good to see Dale Earnhardt Jr. released from the infield care center. Better yet, a smile on your face. We heard you say brakes. What happened to the car out there?
Going into 3, I mashed the brake, and it worked for a split second, and it went to the floor like it blew a hose brake line or something. So I tried to miss the 43 and couldn't do a good job at that, but wasn't much I could do. I couldn't slow my car down, and you know, the Honda device and all the gravel trap slowed the car down a little bit, and the tire barrier worked great, and hopefully you know, the car's not too bad, but just real bad luck. We had some real bad luck.
Dale, we know that this is a heavy braking track. Did you guys have any brake problems during practices this weekend?
Well, I didn't have any problems with the Amp Energy Chevrolet all weekend. The last couple laps I was fading, the brakes were fading, but so I let the 71 and 98 pass, and then they broke, so something was going on with them.
All right, good to see Dale Earnhardt Jr. released from the infield care center. Guys?
Indeed, hard lick, and good to see that he is indeed okay. Up front, Tony Stewart, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Greg Biffle, and Max Pappas. And there comes Carl Edwards looking again. By the way, Pappas has gotten by Boris Said for 5th position. I tell you, Martin Truex is an unheralded road racer. He's doing a heck of a job. Dave.
He's driving it like Harold, isn't he? He is doing very well right now, and he is one of the guys that is on what you call maybe the normal pit stop strategy today. He was on pit road on lap 19. The difference for him today is that crew chief Kevin Mannion told me this morning we can afford to be overly aggressive on our fuel strategy at the end. So look for them possibly to short pit. They haven't talked about it yet, but possibly short pit and gamble near the end. But Andy, would you do that when your car's running this well with the leaders?
Yeah, that's a hard thing to do. You know, it's easy to make those aggressive strategy calls when you're kind of out of the top 10 to try to get up there. But when you're there, you don't want to take yourself out of a chance to try to win it the conventional way, let's call it.
I think they're within about 3 laps of starting to see some guys start to gamble. As we see Boris Said's having some problems here.
Yeah, we see this 08 throwing water out of the overflow. Now he's on pit road.
Clean the grill good. You got to get it clean.
Yep, they're going to go ahead and make this stop now and try to get this grill clean.
That's what happens around this place. You get to pick up debris. Vince?
Well, you see the water spewing out of the right front of the car. That's the sign it's overheating. And we told you earlier that Boris was talking about himself overheating, needing the cold water. And then the car really started showing the effects of it. They're going to take the time and change all 4 tires as well as cleaning off the front of that grill to try to help it out in the temperature.
Good. Let's go.
They're losing a lot of fluid out of that radiator and that cooling system. Be surprised if they don't have to come back in and put water in that car.
So we can see what clogged up that front of the 08 car. Sometimes you get off the course because of the grass.
He ran off just a little bit right there. And again, right here, this could have done it right there. That did clog that grill up. Boy, it doesn't take much. So you can see that even the splitter brace is broken in the center.
So Boris Said comes on pit road running in 6th position and now has made a pit stop to try to clean that off. Here are the guys everybody's chasing. Tony Stewart, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson.
I'm going to say Tony Stewart needs to be careful too. He just got a piece of the grass coming off of 11.
What about some of the biggest movers and fastest cars on the race course? You just saw the 2 of Kurt Busch go by, up 11 positions. Here comes Marcus Ambrose, and he's making another pass. So Ambrose up to 22nd position. Those guys are on the move, and the guys they are chasing right now up front, no surprise. Jimmy Johnson still trying to get his first road course victory ever. Kyle Busch running 2nd, who won here a year ago, and the man at Watkins Glen, Tony Stewart.
Take that knob, crank it up to 10.